Meet Jack and Jill. Aren't they a lovely couple? Jack and Jill had 3 children: Jessica, James, and Jasmine. We don't know why they named all of their names starting with a J. Jack and Jill worked hard while raising their 3 children. Jack and Jill managed to pay off their house and save a considerable amount of money, which they intended to use to help each of their 3 children buy a house. Told you they were lovely. Jack and Jill were so excited that their first daughter Jessica was now married. Jack and Jill wanted Jessica to be able to buy a home with her husband and wanted to lend Jessica some money to help them buy a property. Jack and Jill came to see Trish to update their wills. They mentioned to Trish that they were going to lend some money to Jessica to buy a house. Trish became immediately concerned. Trish advised Jack and Jill that if they intended to lend money to Jessica, that she strongly urges them to have a formal loan agreement drawn up between themselves and Jessica and register a mortgage over the property. Trish explained that the reason for this is to protect their funds in the event that Jessica and her husband separate in future, or in case some other circumstance may arise. And they do. Jack and Jill said that Jessica really loved her husband and there was no way that they would separate, and they did not want to spend more money making a loan agreement or registering a mortgage. Jack and Jill did not listen to Trish's advice. 3 years later, Jack and Jill came back to see Trish. Jack and Jill were very sad and apologized to Trish for not taking her advice. Trish asked Jack and Jill what happened. Jack and Jill advised Trish that Jessica and her husband have separated and are now involved in very messy family law proceedings. Jack and Jill told Trish that the family court refused to acknowledge that the loan given to Jessica for her house was actually a loan and it was being treated as a gift. This meant that Jessica's ex-husband was entitled to 50% of those gifted funds instead of the funds being recognised as a loan which was to be repaid to Jack and Jill before Jessica and her husband got 50% division of their assets. Jessica's family lawyer advised Jessica that if she had have signed a loan agreement between her and her parents had registered a mortgage over the property, those funds would have been protected and repaid to her parents before the remaining assets were divided. Trish felt very sorry for Jack and Jill, but she refrained from saying, "I told you so." Jack and Jill had learnt their lesson and said they would ensure they listened to Trish from now on. Jack and Jill were wanting to lend money to James to purchase a house, but this time they got Trish to make a loan agreement signed by themselves and James and registered a mortgage over the property. Jack and Jill were at peace knowing their hard-earned money was protected this time. If you're lending money to any of your children, family members, or anyone, don't be like Jack and Jill. Make sure you come and see Trish, and she will ensure that the right legal documentation is prepared to protect your hard-earned money. If you'd like to speak to Trish, contact our office today or shoot us an email and we'll get back to you.